You need eggs, condensed milk, sugar, and honey. And this baking powder and strawberry flavor. Don't forget your granules and all-purpose flour.
This is a measuring cup. This is 1 cup, 250 ml. Sorry. So these are our measuring cup. So the first thing we'll do is to add our sugar. So, but firstly, first, before you start your measurement, you have to know the pint of granite you're using. For instance, the measurement for half pint of granite is not the same thing for 1 pint of granite. And the measurement for 2 cups of granite is not the same thing for 5 cups of granite. So we are going to be doing 1 pint of granite, and then the measurement I'm going to use is for a pint of granite. So firstly first, I use 3 cups of sugar. That's 250 ml times 3, or 1 cup times 3. So I'm going to use 3 cups of sugar. 3. So the next thing I add is my butter. So I add this butter first because I don't know, most people that bake cake, you definitely add your sugar and butter first. So the butter can be able to dissolve properly in the sugar before you mix your other contents. So the first thing I'm going to add in this sugar is my butter. So the butter, you don't need a large butter. It's not necessary. Big butters are not necessary. So you can use a little quantity of butter. It also helps in bringing it out crunchy. Okay, I'm going to add it. Then I'll make sure that the butter is well separated and well joined with the sugar. So you keep on doing it this way until you see that the butter has separated. Next thing you add is your milk flavor. So here I have two different kinds of milk flavor. You see white, you see yellow. So these are two different kinds of milk flavor. So when I'm done adding my mixed flavor, I mix it together with the sugar and the butter. Your measurement has to also be accurate so that your peanut won't come out too much with too much activity or have too much oil. So when I'm done mixing the milk flavor together, the next thing I add is my milk. So on here I'm going to measure my milk. I added 3 cups of sugar and then 4 sachets of milk flavor. So now I'm going to add 1.5 cup of milk. Why? Because I want my milk to come out milk. I want my peanut to come out milky and good. So this is 1 cup of sugar. So next cup I'm going to do is half cup of sugar. So this is my half cup of sugar. So you still need a measuring cup so you can have an accurate measurement. So this is half cup of milk. So 1.5 cup of milk, 3 cups of sugar, and then 4 sachets of milk flavor. So you mix this together. You mix this together. So when you're done mixing, you add a pinch of salt. So these the measuring spoons. These are the measuring cups. So we have measuring cups and we have measuring spoons for accurate measurement. So this is our measuring spoon. So this is my salt. So what I need to do now is add a tablespoon of salt. Why? Because it's 1 pint of granite and it's 3 cups of sugar. So I add a tablespoon filled of salt. Why? Salt makes the sugar, like, it makes it come out good, and then someone have a good taste. No. So this is my baking powder. So I'm going to add a teaspoon of the baking powder. So my measuring cup, I have a teaspoon, and this is it. So I'm going to add this. So when I'm done, I mix them together. Okay, this is the nutmeg I'm using the seed nutmeg. I prefer the seed nutmeg to the powdered nutmeg because the seed nutmeg has more flavor than the powdered nutmeg. You don't even know what they used or what they added while grinding the powdered nutmeg. So I actually prefer this seed one because it has more scent than the powdered one. So first I'm going to use my grater to grate it on a plate. Okay, this is our nutmeg. Finally, this is the result of what we grinded. So we're going to add it. Then this is our condensed milk. This is the time we add it. Okay, this is our honey. This time, this is just spoon, one kitchen spoon of honey. Add it. The next thing we are going to add is strawberry flavor. So, like I said, it's strawberry flavor of peanut that we are doing today. So, because of that, we'll be using strawberry flavoring essence. I'm actually using 4 bottles because I want the peanut flavor, the strawberry flavor taste to come out. So that's why I'm using 4 bottles. So you can use one, you can use two, you can use three, you can use more than, depending on how you want it to come out. But I'm using 4 bottles because I want the taste of the strawberry to really, really, really come out. So I add it. So the next thing I'm going to add, but not the last thing, is the egg. So I'm using 7 eggs for a pint of groundnut. So your eggs also is determinant of how many cups of sugar you're using or how many pints of groundnut you're making. So your egg also is very important in this particular stage of baking because you wouldn't like your peanut to come out somehow not crunchy, somehow not even having a good taste, or somehow coming out strong. But the egg will help it and help other ingredients stabilize and help other ingredients correspond to the exact taste you want. So we first of all whisk our egg. So after whisking the egg, we add it. So when we add the egg, we stir. So if you notice, you see that the strawberry color flavor is out, and the color is somehow looking like a strawberry color. What we need now for our coating, the mixture and the dry ingredients. The dry ingredient I have is just the flour. So the mixture already, that's the liquid ingredients. That's every other thing I added. You guys were following is inside this place. Then we have our flour, all-purpose flour. So this is how the coating process starts. Follow me. I had to put water into the plate that had condensed milk and then poured into the plate that had honey, so that those ones that are those particles that are remaining could go into the water, so I can be able to use it into the mixture. So this is the water so far. So I add it. If you notice, you see the honey is trying to come out with the water. So this is it. So this is it. So you have to stir. Okay, at this point, you have to keep stirring until you notice that your sugar is well dissolved. Like you notice that your sugar is well dissolved, then you can now start up your mixing process, or your coating process rather. So at this time, this is the result of your mixture. So at this time, it's thick. What do? You add water. I had to put water into the plate that had condensed milk and then poured into the plate that had honey, so that those ones that are those particles that are remaining could go into the water, so I can be able to use it into the mixture. So this is the water so far. So I add it. If you notice, you see the honey is trying to come out with the water. So this is it. So this is it. So you have to stir. Okay, at this point, you have to keep stirring until you notice that your sugar is well dissolved. Like you notice that your sugar is well dissolved, then you can now start up your mixing process, or your coating process rather. So at this time, this is the result of your mixture. What we need now for our coating, the mixture and the dry ingredients. The dry ingredient I have is just the flour. So the mixture already, that's the liquid ingredients. That's every other thing I added. You guys were following is inside this place. Then we have our flour, all-purpose flour. So this is how the coating process starts. Follow me. Okay, it's time for coating. So these are the bowls I have. I use at any time I feel like using. So this one and this one. So I want you to understand that the bowl for coating is very important because it determines the outcome of your peanuts. It either determines the peanut coming out very neat, beautiful, or coming out shapeless with ears and teeth everywhere. So if you want your peanuts to come out beautiful, smooth, and very attractive, you have to use a bowel that would result to that. So this is the one bowels I have, but I'm going to be using this one for today. You pour in your groundnut. Okay, at this stage, you don't have to pour in plenty groundnut, so because if you're not used to coating, you can start gradually or little by little. So I'm coating this plenty because my hand is already used to coating it, you get. So you have to collect little. If you're a starter, you have to be taking it little by little, so that it won't weigh you down or make you, or even, yeah, it won't weigh you down. So you have to take it easy. You have to carry it bit by bit. If you're a starter and you want to roll it, you have to carry it bit by bit. Okay, it's time for us to coat the groundnut. So I'll have to spread the groundnut properly. Then the first thing I add is my liquid mixture or liquid ingredients. That's my mixture. So what I do is add it bit by bit. You can actually make yours thick if you want it thick. You can actually make yours more lighter than this if you want it lighter. So it depends on how you would want yours to turn out. Like this now is not yet coated, so you can't start frying now because it's not well coated yet. So you have to keep doing this process until it's well coated, which you will see before the end of the video. Everyone has the satisfying coating level, so it all depends on your own level of coating or your own satisfaction. So but I'll show you my before the end of the video. I'll show you my own certain level coating. So when you want to coat yours, you would know if you want to coat higher than mine or lesser than mine. Fine, beautiful. As far as the groundnuts are well covered, that's the most important thing, that your groundnut seed are well covered. So if you can see, the groundnuts are already covering bit by bit. This is not the way it was before now, before we started. So it's already covering bit by bit. So by the time I finish coating, you would see the result or the outcome. Then see, if you notice fully, if you notice very well, it's like twins. So what do you do at this process? You have to remove it. Yeah, you, you roll it back. You roll it back. Remember that this mixture you're going to add should be little by little because it's this mixture that makes it to stick. So when it's sticky like that, you find it very difficult to separate it because you have to separate with flour and it's going to take your time. So if you say, why am I stressing myself? Let me quickly pour the raw groundnut into the mixture and do it at once. That's where you're going to have difficulty because it's going to stick. And when it stickies like this, to separate them will be very difficult and be challenging. And then it will be very frustrating because you even get tired and frustrated of continue with the peanuts making. So what do? You take it step by step. You keep on taking it until you're done coating. Then you're well satisfied with your coat, and then you can move on to the frying level. Okay, this is the end product of the coated peanuts. This is how it looks. This is how it looks. So it's ready to fry. It's ready to fry. This is how it looks. You see how the shape looks. See how the shape is. Yeah. See how neat and smooth it looks. That's the end product of what you get when you use a very nice bowl for coating. So in order for us to know if the oil is ready or okay for frying, you just add one seed of groundnut, and for instance the oil is not yet okay, so we will let the oil be okay, then we can start frying. But first and foremost, you have to use one groundnut to test if the oil is okay or not. So I'm going to be adding the groundnut, the peanuts, into the oil. So I have to keep on stirring. I have to keep on stirring because if you leave it, one side will be burnt and the other side will not be done. So I keep on stirring until I get a desirable color. So you can either allow it to get browny than this or less a light brown. It depends on how you want the color of your peanuts to come out. So me, I prefer it like this because most of my customers want it light brown. So it's already ready to come out. Don't forget that if you allow it to be much more brown in the oil, when it comes out it will get burnt. So to avoid it getting burnt, you have to be very careful in your frying process.